What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a triple grass team that I used in the Holiday Cup. I know the Holiday Cup finished quite a while ago, but I had to prioritise a few videos for the end of the last year, so that's why I had to push back this one. And also, it's probably not a team that I would recommend you run because it was more of a theme meme team. Obviously, grass is weak to ice, weak to flying, which were both types prevalent in the Holiday Cup, and as well it's weak to fire, which we saw a lot of fire in the Holiday Cup, especially Talonflame and also Alola Marowak. So why did I choose to run a triple grass team? Well, my previous team, being the double fire and flying, just kept on getting absolutely destroyed by the rock types, so I just thought, you know what, how am I gonna beat these rock types? Let's just run a triple grass team to absolutely destroy these rock types. So that's what I wanted to do, and then also I had to sort of make my team such that it wasn't completely destroyed by all of the things that beat the grass types. So in the lead I'm running Ludicolo. Ludicolo has that sub water typing. It's got access to Bubble as the fast move. Unfortunately, a few seasons ago Bubble was nerfed to nerf Azumarill, but Ludicolo ended up being indirectly nerfed from that Bubble nerf. Then we've got Leaf Storm, which is an awesome charge move. It's such a good charge move. Unfortunately, it does self debuff the user's attack, but I often used it and then dipped out, so it didn't really make a difference. Then also we've got Ice Beam as a great coverage move, so we can hit those flyers for super effective damage, or any other grass types if we see them. And then we've got a Chesnaught, and it's actually running Smackdown as the fast move because I really need coverage against those flying types, against those fire types, and specifically Talonflame. Smackdown absolutely destroys Talonflame. You can one shield and completely farm it down. And then we've got Energy Ball. It's a pretty good grass type charge move, and we've got Superpower, which is a great fighting type charge move, although it does self debuff both the attack and the defense with every use. Then we've also got Tangrowth having access to the Rock Slide coverage again, because we're going to be seeing lots of ice types, lots of fire types, and lots of flying types, and we need that coverage because we are running triple grass. So we've also got Vine Whip, very fast energy gains, and Power Whip, which is yet another pretty solid grass type charge move. So I think I used this team for a couple of days and I actually went really positive with it. I think I got as high as like 2478. But then unfortunately Though Technical put out a double grass team, which actually kind of destroys this team because the grass types he decided to run with were Venusaur and Roserade, and especially the Poison Jab Roserade just eats through this team so quickly, and then the Venusaur also sort of hard counters all three Pokemon. The only thing I can do is throw Ice Beams from Ludicolo, but we get outpaced by the Venusaur. So yeah, once I started seeing more of those teams, that was pretty much the end for this team, and just in general Venusaur became a lot more popular, and yeah, that's why this team didn't last very long. So that's also why I didn't decide that I wanted to get this video out as soon as I could, because I knew that at that moment in time the meta had definitely shifted and this team was no longer as viable as it was when I first made it. But with that being said, let's just get into the battles now. We do have quite a lot of battles because there were so many really good battles when I was running this team, so sit back and enjoy. Alright, into the first battle. With the triple grass team, we lead into a Vigoroth. So this is an okay matchup, I suppose. We don't really have anything that super hard checks Vigoroth, but that's okay. We're going to go straight for the Leaf Storm. This will do big damage if they don't shield it. And they don't shield it, and then they switch out. We're quite slow to switch out ourselves, but we switch into the Tangrowth here, and we just barely get to the Rock Slide. This might have even been a CMP tie with the Ninetales. We get the shield, and it was a CMP tie, so that's quite good for us. We throw the Weather Ball. We're going to go for another Rock Slide. We will outpace it, and I think we did deny the Charm sneaking through, but it doesn't really matter too much because they're still going to be able to charm us down. We're actually going to come in with the Ludicolo here, and we're going to try and force them to throw. They thought that we were at a charge move, so they switched to snipe us down, but that actually might be in our favour. They come in with an Alolan Marowak, but we're running Smackdown as our fast move. Here, I know this is definitely a Bone Club, but I'm unsure with how much damage the Fire Spins are doing. And here, we don't throw the Superpower straight away, just in case it doesn't KO, because it would debuff us. And they throw another Bone Club. We throw one more just to be safe. This Superpower is definitely going to KO, despite being double resisted. And we throw another Superpower here against the Alolan Ninetales. And we take out the Alolan Ninetales. So there we had a Chesnaught take on the Marowak and the Ninetales there, and still come out on top, so that's pretty crazy. We lead into a Stunfisk, so that's a good lead. We don't have like a great swap for a flying type, so we're just going to go for the Ice Beam, and they actually let it go through, so now we're in a pretty good position. We know that both our Pokemon in the back are okay against Stunfisk, so we're happy to let them bait us with an Icy Wind and not even get to the charge move. They're going to come back in with the Stunfisk. We're going to go for the Leaf Storm, and then we're going to switch out into Tangrowth. We get the shield, and they're farming up energy. They switch into a Talonflame, but we've got a Rock Slide, and this is going to be a pretty comfortable win. And my opponent actually quits the match there. We still had 3 Pokemon, 2 shields, and triple grass, and we made a Talonflame rage quit there. So GG's to my opponent there. Into the next matchup, we're up against a Frostlass. Now, both my back Pokemon do have coverage against Ice, but Ludicolo is actually neutral because of the water typing. As I said, we're going to go for the Leaf Storm straight away. We get the shield, and now we are going to switch into the Tangrowth here. We do have to shield everything, but we will be able to get shields back or take them out with the Rock Slide, so that's okay. They actually tried to catch the Rock Slide on the Vigoroth, but we were refunded with the energy. It kind of doesn't matter because we need to throw a Power Whip and a Rock Slide anyway. They go for the Body Slam, it doesn't KO, and we're just barely able to get to the Rock Slide here, and this should KO the Vigoroth from this range, and it does. They come back in with the Frostlass, and that's not looking too good for us because a Frostlass with loaded energy is very dangerous. We actually throw 2 Smackdowns, and we catch the Avalanche on the Ludicolo, and now we will be able to farm down with Smackdown here, and of course they're running the double counter users in the back. And we're going to get to the double superpower here at the same time they get to the double cross chop or double night slash, depending on what they're wanting to throw. We're going to safely shield this up and then throw the second superpower, and despite being debuffed, this will boom the Obstagoon and we take that game. Into next game, we lead into a Golem. So that's good. They switch into the Vigoroth, and like I said earlier, we don't have like a hard punish for Vigoroth swap or Vigoroth lead. So we're just going to stay in, throw the Leaf Storm, and then switch out. But they actually let it go through, and we're going to be able to bubble farm them down here. So that's really good. And we're just waiting to see what comes in. Ends up being the Golem. We're just going to go for the Leaf Storm. If they decide not to shield this for whatever reason, we're going to boom them, and they do not shield it, so we do boom them. And now we have 2 shields here. We're actually going to be able to commit to the fast move down against an Altaria with a Chesnaught. So yep, obviously we have to shield these because we are double weak to flying type, being grass and fighting, but these Smackdowns are doing a lot of damage, and they've actually poorly timed their charge moves both times there, so we actually got a few extra fast moves in and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Wigglytuff. So again, we don't really have a hard answer for Charm either, but this is okay. As we always do, we're going to go for the Leaf Storm straight away, and they do shield it, so we're going to switch into the Tangrowth. They come in with an Alolan Marowak. We have the Rock Slide coverage here, which is great. They do not shield that. Rock Slide doesn't do too much damage to the Marowak. We're actually going to let this go through, and it's just a Bone Club, so we called it right. And then we get to the Rock Slide here. This might have been a CMP tie. And my opponent's actually going to let it go through, so that is really good. We have to come back in with the Ludicolo here because the Chesnaught is weak to Charm. They are going to throw here, so we're going to shield this up. And my opponent switches into a Litleo. We come in with the Chesnaught. We're both doing super effective damage, and it looks like we're kind of outpacing it for damage at the moment. But unfortunately, they have Flame Charge, so they're going to raise their attack and we simultaneously KO. So that's super unfortunate. If they didn't raise their attack there, we would have been able to farm down, get the shield, and then we would have been able to Leaf Storm this Wigglytuff and take that game. But my opponent is able to take it there. GG's to them. Really good game. Into the next game, we lead into a Lickitung. So Lickitung is a super bulky Pokemon, and once again, we don't have a hard answer to Lickitung, so we're just going to stay in. Going to overfarm a little bit, and then we throw the Leaf Storm here. Again, this will do huge damage, and we do land it. So now we're going to switch out. They actually switch out at the same time. Fortunately, we didn't switch into the Chesnaught, and we're going to be throwing a Rock Slide bait into this Wigglytuff. We do get the shield here, and now we're going to go for the Power Whip. And we do land the Power Whip, and now we're going to be able to simultaneously KO. And we're going to come in with Chesnaught here. We are going to shield this up because we kind of do have to use shields. It might be a Charmer in the back, but it's actually a Razor Leafer. So this is kind of a good matchup for the Chesnaught here, because we are doing neutral damage, whereas we're resisting the Razor Leafs. They throw the Acid Spray, so we're going to switch into the Ludicolo there. We're able to farm it down with Bubble, get to the Leaf Storm. This will get a shield, and it does. They farm us down with Lick, but we have 2 charge moves stored up, so even if they had a shield, we should be able to win this. And GG's. Well played, my opponent. Into the next game, we lead into an Alolan Ninetales. So once again, this is a fairly neutral matchup, so we're just going to stay in. This is Powder Snow, so it's actually kind of better that we're seeing it here compared to in the back. We're going to go for the Leaf Storm as usual. We land it, and now we're just going to switch into the Chesnaught and snipe the Alolan Ninetales there. They come in with a Sableye, so this actually isn't an awful matchup because we can throw the Energy Ball and they have to go for the return if they want to KO us. We get the shield, and yeah, we're just happy to let this go down. If they return, then they'll lose all their energy, but they went for the Foul Play and we resist it. So we're going to get to the Superpower. This is resisted, but it might warrant a shield, and it does. So we get their final shield with 2 shields up. We're just going to come in with Ludicolo, force them to throw their energy, and hope that Tangrowth can beat whatever is in the back. They switch out into a Lantern, and we have 2 shields, so this is going to be a comfortable victory. So my opponent concedes the match there, and we take that game. GG's there. Into the next game, we lead into an Obstagoon, so very familiar pattern here. This is a pretty neutral matchup, so we're just going to stay in. We're not running an ABB team, we're running a AAA team, so yeah, there's not really any point switching out. We do land the Leaf Storm, and they switch into a Talonflame here, so we're going to go for the Rock Slide just before they reach the charge move. We get the shield here, and we're just going to let this go through, because if we shield this, then we will get to another charge move, but they can farm us down. So now we're going to come in with the Chesnaught. We have Smackdown. Look at how much damage we're doing to the Talonflame here. We're going to shield up the Flame Charge. They come in with a Stunfisk, so we're going to go for the Energy Ball here, and then switch out into the Ludicolo. Does quite a lot of damage to the Stunfisk. And we're just going to let this go through. There's no point shielding. And they actually Mud Bomb us. I think they were expecting us to shield, so that's better for us actually. And now we're just going to commit to the farm down here. We know that the Talonflame is energy dry, so we're actually going to shield this move, and then we can easily farm down the Talonflame with Smackdowns, and we're able to take that game. GG's. Into the next game, we lead into an Alolan Graveler. We're just going to go straight for the Leaf Storm as usual. We do get the shield, so we're actually going to switch into Chesnaught this time because we do resist all of Graveler's moves. They actually go for the Stone Edge, it doesn't do too much, and they come in with a Frostlass. Because they switched there, we should have been 1 turn ahead and got to the charge move. So unfortunately, we have to shield this, which is definitely not ideal. We're going to go for the Superpower, we get the shield, and they Powder Snow us down. We're going to come in with the Tangrowth here. We are going to have to shield up this Avalanche because it would KO, and then hopefully, actually we're going to switch into Ludicolo, force them to throw the rest of their energy, and they do. And now they come in with the Graveler here, but we're going to come in with the Tangrowth, and whatever they had in the back did not want to see Tangrowth, so we're able to take that game. Maybe it was a Talonflame, I'm not sure. Into the next game, we lead into a Lantern, so here we switch out straight away because we have two better answers, but what I've realised now is that most Lanterns in the Holiday Cup were running Water Guns, so what we should do, and you'll see in a later video, in a later battle, is stay in for the Water Gun damage and then switch to catch the Thunderbolt. And here our opponent is actually letting both Rock Slides go through, so we're able to take switch advantage here, which is pretty good for us. We're going to get to the Rock Slide here and we're going to get a shield from the Frostlass. We're actually now switching into the Chesnaught here, and we're hoping that we can do as much fast move damage as possible and actually come back in with the Lantern here. So bit of a strange play, but we actually undercharged the charge move there because we want as much farm as we can get on this Lantern. They go for the Hydro Pump. We're actually able to undertap and hit the superpower here, and again we're going to undercharge this move so that we can farm down with the Ludicolo and get as much energy as possible. We get to Leaf Storm here and then we simultaneously swap, and I might have just handed the game to my opponent, but no, they didn't quite have an Avalanche. We're able to throw the Leaf Storm, we take out the Frostlass, and now the Thunderbolt is going to do quite a decent amount because it's neutral, but it's not going to be enough to take us out, and these Water Guns are doing no damage. So we're going to get to the Leaf Storm here and we're going to be able to take out the Lantern. GG's there. I nearly threw the game away, but I was just barely able to win that one. It's the next game up against another Obstagoon lead, so as usual we're just going to go for the Leaf Storm straight away. They don't shield it, and we're going to switch into Tangrowth, and we actually sniped them down before they could throw, so that is super ideal for us. They come in with a Frostlass and we've already got to the Rock Slide. We get a shield, and ideally we want to burn both their shields here, so we are going to shield once, and we get to the second Rock Slide here. We get the final shield and hopefully they throw, and they do, and we're just going to let this go down because we're not sure what they have in the back. We're going to come in with the Chesnaught here and we should be able to one shield, farm down, and we should be in a pretty good position. And they have a Shadow Aerodactyl, so Chesnaught is actually a really good counter to the Shadow Aerodactyl because we resist the rock and we're hitting them for super effective with our own smackdowns, and we take that game there. GG's to my opponent. Into the next game, we lead into a Talonflame, so we're going to switch straight away into the Chesnaught. My opponent has no idea what they're doing because they're not expecting a grass type to do that much damage. They switch into a Ferrothorn, so this is also a good matchup for the Chesnaught. We're not going to throw yet because we don't want the Mirror Shot to KO, so we're going to wait, and unfortunately this Mirror Shot does debuff our attack, but we're going to get off the superpower. It still gets a shield, and we're going to throw another superpower here. Unfortunately we are debuffed quite a bit at this point, but they go for the farm down and they're not able to get it before we get off another superpower, so we get the second shield there. And now unfortunately, because of the grass and steel typing, we're not going to be able to farm down this Ferrothorn very easily. We will take a lot of spammy Mirror Shots, but fortunately the Mirror Shots don't do that much damage. They got off a second Mirror Shot and now they get off a third Mirror Shot, so they're just spamming Mirror Shot at an extreme rate. We are going to farm up a bit, and then we're actually going to catch the Mirror Shot on the Ludicolo here because it is resisted, being part water. They come in with a Cradilly and we're going to go for the Ice Beam. This won't KO, but it will do quite a lot of damage. And we are going to shield this up. And my opponent realises that there's not much they can do, so they concede the match there. GG's to them. Into the next game, we lead into a Lantern, so you see here, this time we are staying in for quite a while. The Water Guns are double resisted. We're going to switch into Tangrowth here, and we actually bait out a Frostlass. So we're going to get to the Rock Slide here. This should get a shield or do quite a lot of damage. We get the shield, and that is ideal. We are going to shield once and go for a second Rock Slide and hopefully get the second shield. And we do get that shield. And now my opponent throws, so we're just going to let the Tangrowth go down here. And once again, we're going to come in with the Chesnaught and we're going to one shield farm down this Frostlass. So we shield the Avalanche and we farm them down. And now my opponent actually has a Marowak in the back, so that is not ideal. We're going to let them throw the Bone Club straight away. And then we're going to go for a superpower here, and then we're going to switch into Ludicolo, hoping that we can KO them with an Ice Beam. We throw 2 more bubbles, and then we throw the Ice Beam. Hopefully this KOs. And it does KO, and now we're going to be able to tank this charge move. And we're going to go for the Leaf Storm. A tiny bit of lag there, but we're able to get off the Leaf Storm, and boom, we take out the Lantern there and take that game. So GG's there. Into the next game, we lead into a normal cast form, so I've not seen this too much in the Holiday Cup. Again, we're just going to go straight for the Leaf Storm. We land it, and now we can commit to bubbling down this cast form here. They go for the Energy Ball, and that's okay, it means that they won't get to a second charge move. We're going to switch straight away into the Tangrowth, and unfortunately they have a Skarmory. So a Skarmory against a triple grass team, that is very bad news for this team. We land the Rock Slide, and they throw the charge move just before we get to the second Rock Slide. We're actually going to shield this, and then go for another Rock Slide here after one more Vine Whip. We do get a shield here. And we're actually going to get to another Rock Slide before they can farm us down, so that is really good. And now we're actually going to switch into the Ludicolo, and we're able to get an extra bubble through, so we should be at the Ice Beam now if we can undertap. But we don't undertap, we overtap, but fortunately we're still able to get to the Ice Beam, and we take out the Skarmory. They do have a Vigoroth in the back, so this is not over. Vigoroth with an energy advantage against no shield opponent is very dangerous. We're going to come in with the Chesnaught here. If we can just get to the superpower, then this should be a GG's. But they get to the back-to-back body slam. And we do survive 2 more counters, so we're able to get to the superpower. And of course we lag here, and I was getting worried. But we're able to take out the Vigoroth and take that game. So even against a Skarmory team, we're still able to win with the triple grass. Into the next game, we lead into another Alolan Ninetales. This time they're running Charm. We're just going to go straight for the Leaf Storm. We get to the Leaf Storm 1 turn or 1 fast move before they get to the Weather Ball. Unfortunately, because we debuff our attack, we're not able to farm them down. And maybe if we still had the extra damage from Bubble before it was nerfed to sort of indirectly nerf the Azumarill, then maybe we would have taken that game without taking all the damage from the Weather Ball. Again, my opponent doesn't really have an answer for Chesnaught because they come in with an Alolan Graveler. This is a great matchup, and we're going to switch into the Tangrowth here, and we don't intend on using our shield in this matchup. We're either going to farm them down or force them to use all of their energy, and I'm happy either way. Because now we can come back in with the Chesnaught, and we're going to be able to fast move down this Talonflame. GG's. Into the next game, we lead into a Shadow Lapras. So I didn't actually see this team that frequently, but this is likely the FP6 Lapras, Sableye and Venusaur team. And Venusaur was actually a massive problem for this team. We switch here to catch a move, although we're not actually catching it because we're going to shield this. We know it's a Skull Bash. We're going to go for the Power Whip. Because they raised their defense, the Rock Slide might not KO at that range. And I think we're just going to let this go through here. We don't want to be down 2 shields. We're going to come back in with the Ludicolo. And we're just going to go straight for the Leaf Storm here. We're able to take out the Lapras. We're going to switch instantly into the Chesnaught. They have the Venusaur, so this is looking really bad for us. We are going to shield this up. It's probably a Sludge Bomb, and it is. And now they actually switch into the Sableye here, so they're giving us a win condition. If they just stayed in and went for the second Sludge Bomb, they probably would have been fine, but they're not doing that. And now they throw here, so that's perfect. They throw the return, they take us out, and now we can actually come in with Ludicolo, get a little bit of farm, and we're actually going to be able to get to the Ice Beam here against the Venusaur. And we're able to take that game there. So they kind of handed me the win there. They were in a really good position with the Venusaur because I can't really do anything to the Venusaur apart from throw the Ice Beam. And then here, up against another Shadow Lapras. This time it's a slightly different team composition. But again, we're going to throw the Leaf Storm on a CMP tie with the Skull Bash. We expect them to shield it, and they do. We are going to shield this because there's no reason for them to throw a Surf here. It's double resisted. We come in with the Tangrowth here and actually throw the Surf straight away. So we're just going to let this go through. It doesn't do that much damage, but these Ice Shards are certainly adding up. We're going to go for the Power Whip because we won't make it to 2 Rock Slides, so we might as well go for the high energy move. They take us out there, that's fine. We're going to come back in with the Ludicolo once again and go straight for the Leaf Storm because they can't throw Surf because it is double resisted, like I already said. We take out the Lapras. This time they're running an Obstagoon. We are going to let this go through. The Cross Chop doesn't do too much damage, and we're able to get to the superpower here before they get to a second move. And this is obviously going to boom the Obstagoon. Boom, we take out the Obstagoon there, and they have a Vigoroth. So I think with the debuff superpower, it won't quite take out the Vigoroth now. So I'm actually going to let it go down, and we're going to come in with the Ludicolo, get to the Leaf Storm, and this is going to do massive damage. And boom, we take out the Vigoroth there, and we take that game. Now into the final battle of the video, we lead into another Talonflame. We're going to switch into the Chesnaught. My opponent has no idea what to do. They obviously are weak to the Chesnaught, and they are very weak to the Chesnaught because they come in with an Alolan Sandslash into a very high energy Chesnaught, so I don't know what they're doing here, and they actually let the superpower go through, so boom, we take them out. Even debuffed, we're able to take him out there, and we're actually able to get to another superpower here against the Credilli, and we do get another shield. So we took out both shields there and took out most of the Talonflame whilst also taking out the Sandslash. So we're in a really good position here. We're going to let the Stone Edge go through. They switch into the Talonflame, and we get a bubble through here, so we're definitely going to shield this. And my opponent is going to concede the match there, so GG's there. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. And yeah, unfortunately this might be my last PvP video for a while. I've kind of just had enough with the game and the state that it's in at the moment. I think a few days after doing these last battles, I had finally finished building my XL Shadow Sableye, which I saw Jamie Finn showcase on his channel. If you don't know who he is, he runs only Shadow Pokemon on his channel, and I think he is the only PvP YouTuber to showcase exclusively Shadow Pokemon content. So definitely go check him out, because that's, I know, what a lot of people want from my channel, but he's doing it now, so go check him out. And yeah, I was really excited to try out this XL Shadow Sableye, but the game was just in such an awful state that I really did not enjoy any of the battles, even the ones that I won, because it was just unplayable. And yeah, since then I have not touched GBL whatsoever, haven't even considered it, especially in Master League. Master League, I don't hate it, but I just haven't really invested in many Pokemon in recent seasons because there's usually another cup running alongside it at the same time. So yeah, I haven't touched GBL for a while, and I'm not too sure when I will pick it up again, or if I will pick it up again this season. We'll have to see if the game drastically improves in this time, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, I don't know when I will next be making a video like this. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you sometime in the future, hopefully.